Oh, John Uyan and Gareth Evans. John around the inside of the Porsche. They split the Porsche. John takes the inside after the spot. Beautiful move, leading on to the back straightaway. Welcome to round 2 of the SimHQ Motorsports Sports Car Endurance Series here at Road America. George Manisakis again qualifies on pole, and Richard Blocker qualifies on pole for the GTE class. We do have 2 GTC cars on the grid. Spencer Battersby qualifies on pole for the GTC class. 29 cars total, 14 LMP2 cars, so it's definitely a healthy grid all around. A lot of GTs, a lot of prototypes. Safety car pulls into the lane, and we are about to go green for 90 minutes of Road America. George Manisakis leads the field into turn 1. Clean start all around at the top of prototype. GT field starts as well. Top 4 pretty close together. John Uyan to the inside of Johnson. Down the back straightaway. John moving up a place. Into 11th. Jordy all over the back of Jean-Pierre Halpop for 2nd place. Oh, Jean-Pierre a little bit wide. Rear end kicked out a little bit. And Jordy not going to be able to go around the outside of the carousel. Don going to the inside of the Aston. Up the hill heading towards turn 1. Side by side with the Aston, both braking for turn 1. How does this end? The Aston turns in. Don still to the inside. Takes the spot. Was on George Emery. 4 GT cars in a row. I do believe Don has actually gotten Matthias Bogle, so Don now on a tear because he's taking a look at the back of Rhinus. Sorry, wrong car. Ah, dang it. Don around the outside. How is this going to work? It won't. Not quite yet. Don has already moved up 2 spots. He's looking for a 3rd. Definitely on a charge is the Ferrari. Oh, Matthias Bogle, wide, bottom of shot. Okay, I really need to learn which way to hit the camera buttons. Matthias is going to recover, but he did lose several positions on that mistake. Don to the inside of the Aston. Into turn 1, will take the spot. Runs a little bit wide, recovers. That was on Rhinus Janssens. Oh, we have Jean-Pierre Halpop in the pits, actually. And there's a Ferrari missing a front bumper. Wonder if the two are related. Jean-Pierre exits the lane now, but he has dropped down from 2nd to 14th. Not exactly sure what happened. Oh, George Emery actually slow. He lost a couple of positions here. Alex Cootie is behind in the vibrantly colored Aston Martin. And I do think Alex is actually looking a little quicker than George Emery, as well as George Emery taking some damage maybe. Alright, as some GT action starts to happen, some multiclass starting to happen. Roberto Di Filippe's off wise. Macias Dulas is going to take that spot as well. James Andrew has moved up a place. Franco Scarlett still chasing. Jordy Zwire is now weaving through GT traffic. To do so, Franco a little bit more efficient run through that traffic. He was gaining time on Jordy. This is for 2nd in prototype and continues to be a close battle. John Uyan chasing Gareth Evans. This is for 8th in prototype. John making some headway actually towards the end of that straightaway. This is definitely going to be a battle that will heat up. This battle for around 10th in class continues to be tight. All 4 of these prototypes connected together. James Andrew a little bit wide actually, and I believe that's Roberto Di Filippe's is trying to go to the inside, can't quite take advantage of it. as the prototypes go up the hill for this tight left-hander. Oh, John Uyan and Gareth Evans. John, we're on the inside of the Porsche. They split the Porsche. John takes the inside after the spot. Beautiful move, leading on to the back straightaway. That was an absolutely fantastic move, splitting the GTC car and taking the inside of the corner. Gareth Evans drops to 9th. John up to 8th. Johnson ahead, went a little bit wide on the last turn. Matthias Dulas is looking. Johnson defends. Dulas to the outside. He's going to get good overlap before turn 1, and we'll take the spot into turn 1. However, not done yet. James Andrew Ferrari off wide. James Andrew having a look as well. Let's go on board with James Andrew. Taking a look at Johnson ahead. Both going to the inside of the GTC car. Oh, Johnson is wide a little bit, and James Andrew into this. I believe that's Spencer, who has just been collected. Spencer, an innocent bystander. James Andrew going to have some severe damage on that car. Spencer recovers. I believe Johnson got a little bit squirrely going up the hill. It choked up James Andrew as well, who lost control, and then, yeah, into Spencer. Lot of... Oh, Alex Coody's actually missing a front bumper. Lot of GTs and prototypes. 3 Aston Martins in a row with some prototype action going on around them. But Alex Coody is missing a front bumper, so I'm not entirely sure what happened there. His car reminds me when your TV loses signal and it kind of freaks out. Goes back to its color correction mode. Like, no, I still know how to present color, I promise. It's kind of what Alex Coody's livery reminds me of. Oh, through the carousel. Johnson a little bit slower than Felipe's. Felipe's now to the inside. Let's see if we can get, not what I meant to do, an artistic shot. Felipe's down the back straightaway, taking a look to the inside. It's going to be tight in the braking zone. He's going for it. He's going for it. Johnson gives him the room. Beautifully done by both. The two cars actually near a GT Aston Martin. Some lap traffic. It may play a factor in this battle. And Pietro spins! Dulius collects him. Pietro spins right on the apex. Rear end locked up. Gareth Evans will go through. I believe that's who that is, as well as Jean-Pierre Helpop, who had that early stop making his way through. Piotr, an unfortunate spin, locking up the rears. And oh, a little bit of contact up ahead as Jean-Pierre Helpop tried to overtake Gareth Evans. Gareth Evans defending and continuing on in 9th. Right on the back of Dulius now, as Dulius obviously slammed into Piotr and might be having some damage as well. So let's hang with Gareth Evans actually as he goes through the carousel. Julius with massive understeer potentially from that damage. Gareth Evans goes through up to John. Actually, and John, ironically timed, is going to go to the inside. That's Cardenas. Not exactly where I was trying to go, but John to the inside. Not able to do it. Alex Coody in the Aston, going to be used as a pick from Cardenas. John will have to go to the inside of Alex Coody and will follow suit. Cardenas to the inside of the Aston. John now in the draft. This battle continues. We'll come back to it. As I was looking for this battle, which has kind of changed and shifted around. Matthias now ahead of Piotr, and Piotr and Matthias both going to dive into the lane, both with enough damage. Very, very unfortunate incident. Piotr just pushing really hard. Spun up, locking the rears, and both cars will enter the lane to the left as James Andrew comes down the middle of the screen. All right, we have some GTC action. Daniel Rowe in 26th overall. Spencer in 27th. These are 1 and 2, the only GTC cars apart from me, but of course I'm in the pits. And Spencer going to run a little bit wide, going to give some time back to Daniel Rowe. And this is the occasion where the GTE cars, as Matthew Overton going to pass Spencer. The The GTE cars do have some multi-class action to do as well as they go around the GTC cars. As Matthew Overton goes by, both beautifully done as Spencer Battersby is going to take the inside of Daniel Rowe into turn 1. Spencer moves into the lead of the GTC class. Oh, Jerome is missing his front bumper. Not exactly what you want to see. He's actually starting the lap here. He's still in sector 1. So that's going to be kind of a long lap. Definitely going to need repairs. Let's see who's behind him. It's Cardenas. Did you see that? I went the right way with the camera. I've reversed the 2 camera controls, so now I'm good. Now, of course, have I gotten used to doing it the other way? We'll see, but it makes more sense to me this way. Previous and next car. Anyway, what we're talking about, yeah, Cardenas is potentially going to catch... Actually, let's hop back here to Gareth Evans and Roberto De Felippes again. This battle continues. De Felippes keeps dropping back on the carousel, but catching back up. Gareth Evans in the pink and black Ligier. Oh, De Felippes a little bit squirrely, so even though there was no GT car, he will still lose some ground right before the carousel as Gareth Evans continues. George Manasakis continues to be our overall leader for the 2nd race in a row. It looks like a dominant drive from George. As we have a 3-way battle, Cardenas, Evans, and Roberto De Felippes. They continue, and Roberto De Felippes does take the spot. On the back straightaway going around Don. Well done, Roberto De Felippes has taken the spot. It's now 8th as Jerome had to hit the lane. They both inherited a spot. And seemingly both have been catching Cardenas ahead in 7th. So this might not be over. Oh, Jerome has actually retired. We were just talking about earlier. He has retired. He's listed as a DNF. That will be the end of Jerome's race. Jordy and Franco Scarlett here, 2nd and 3rd. I was just keeping an eye on them. This might turn into something a little bit later. So we take a look up and down pit lane. Manuel Hallfarth has actually been listed with a disqualification. That's me. So hi. And Matthias Bogle has a DNF listed on the 4th lap. Not entirely sure what happened as well. And then, of course, Jerome, our latest retirement. Spencer and Daniel Rowe in the GTC class continue to fight. I do believe I saw one of them waiting on the side of the road, but hey, there's only 2 of them, so it's nice that they can be racing closely, not too worried about who's winning, who's losing, just wanting to be together on track and racing. We need more GTC drivers. At this point, it's rough to have a big 30-car race and only 2 GTC, so I almost feel like they should hop over to the GTE class. We'll just have a 2-class race, but nevertheless, hopefully we get some more GTC entries. Oh, Daniel Rowe spins, and it's going to take out Rhinus. That was actually, Rhinus was chasing Colin Moore, I believe. He was Rhinus 3rd in GTE. Has been caught out by the GTC car. And here is Rhinus. He's going to have to contend with George Emery now. We go on board with George Emery. Rhinus was right behind Colin Moore in 2nd. He is now defending from George Emery in 4th. Big change of events. Oh, and is that Colin Moore up ahead? It is! Rhinus goes past Colin Moore. Not entirely sure what's happened to Colin at this point. But Colin here, and actually George Emery is going to be having a look at Colin as well. That means Rhinus moves up into 2nd place. What has happened to Colin Moore? He's lost a lot of pace. We are at the halfway point of this race. As we saw in the first round, it doesn't really mean much for the GT cars. Can go quite a long time as John Uyon goes around Colin Moore. Colin wanting to take the line fully. Kind of pushing John out there. So Rhinus goes through, Colin into 2nd, John goes through at the kink. And George Emery behind in 4th. This is pretty close now as George Emery... It looks like Cullen's car maybe down in the straights. Some aero damage perhaps. It's really hard to say because Rinus was the one that got put off wide by the spinning GTC car. However, Colin Moore has dropped back and Rinus is up ahead. As Colin goes to the inside of the GTC, as I believe that's Jean-Pierre Halpop goes to the inside of the prototype behind, John to the inside of Matthew Overton. A lot of action going on down this home straight. As George Emery, oh sorry, that's George Emery going by Spencer in the GTC car. Ricardo Boykman takes his, and it is George Manisaki's coming in behind George Emery in GT further back as well. Oh, Franco, whoa. Franco Scarlett was fighting for second, third in class. He has now been listed as a DNF on lap 24. Not sure what's happened to Franco. As George Manisaki's in second now with James Andrew. George Emery goes through for his stops. The entirety of the 7-8-9 battle in prototype, or in the lane, as James Andrew leaves the pits with George Manisaki's, takes 7th in the process. Is that Roberto Di Filipez? It is. Comes out behind him, so that is for position. James Andrew into 6th after the stops. Richard Blocker, incidentally, continues to lead in GT, with George Manisaki as the prototype leader. Hanging out with him, going to go around the outside. This left-hander as they go into the carousel. So both class leaders on screen there. Julius and Cardenas, this is a legitimate battle for position as James Andrew and Roberto Di Filipez up ahead, fight as well. Let's go up a little bit. James Andrew defends. James Andrew wide, and Roberto Di Filipez will take the spot. That's into 6th. To hop back a little bit, Julius and Cardenas are fighting as well as the two go up the hill to the left-hander and now into the right-hander. The last turn, Julius very, very close. We know he can overtake. Let's see what he can do on the home straightaway. Let's go on board. Oh, really late on the brakes. And Julius is going to hold it together, actually. Not spinning, but lost a lot of time. Very, very late on the brakes, trying to attack and get as much spacing back as possible. Ended up not going well for him. We actually have George Manisaki is chasing John. John is going to hit the lane from 2nd. Manisakis will go back up to 2nd. Cardenas and James Andrew are not done. James Andrew runs wide, actually, and Cardenas will take the spot. James Andrew tries to recover as Julius is now behind as well. Up back to James Andrew. See, these camber controls are beautiful now. I know which way I need to go. James Andrew drops back down to 8th. Julius is a legitimate 9th behind, so this is a battle for position again. Roberto Di Filipez goes through the carousel ahead of all of this. And James Andrew has seemingly been in a battle of 4 prototypes. Don't know if they're the same 4 prototypes, but around battles in this lower top 10 position since the beginning of the race. It's been a very busy race for James Andrew as Julius has a look to the inside in the middle part of this straight. Does not have anything. Oh, as James Andrew runs wide again! He's gonna spin up the rears over the curb as well. Locked rears. And we'll lose some spots. Is that another spot? It is. Gareth Evans takes 10th. James now down to 11th. Alex Cudi to the inside of Juan de la Cruz. That's for 20th overall. In GT, that is 8th, I want to say. But nevertheless, Alex Cudi taking the spot. But I do believe George should have an easy retake of the lead. Manisakis' best time of the race is over a second faster than any other best time that I can see. Oh, sorry, that's a lie. Nevertheless, he does have the best lap of the race. We go up the hill now. Jordy's still in the pits. He's revving his engine. Is it almost time for him to go? GT cars go by. George Manisakis goes through, back into the lead handily. Nearing the hour mark of this race. Julius on Cardenas, I believe. That's an Aston Martin into the inside, missing a front bumper. That was a very slow Aston, parked on the inside of the curb. Julius was looking to the inside. He is looking to the inside again. This is Cardenas. Again, these guys have all stopped. I repeat, they have all stopped. Incidentally, Jean-Pierre Halpop had that very, very early stop. If you remember, he has incidentally stopped again, but he remains in 5th. So well done to him. Oh, Matthias, I believe that's George Emery, and it is. Gives him a good old whack on the back. Trying to negotiate GT traffic while you're in the middle of a battle, admittedly, isn't easy. But it is very, very important that you do. As there's a Ferrari kind of weaving, need to kind of stick to a side of the road, as that Ferrari was weaving back and forth quite a bit. And Julius has completely lost touch now with Cardenas. As Cardenas runs a little bit wide, will Julius be able to take advantage? Go on board with Julius. He did get a much better run through the carousel. Can't really go to the inside. It is a kind of a tough place to pass. If he went to the inside, he would not have a good enough line for the kink. Julius playing with a little bit of patience. Oh, Matthias Julius spins around. He was tight on the back of Cardenas. He's gonna lose out big time. Ricardo Boykman on John Uyan now. Ricardo was 0.8 of a second faster on the last lap than John. This is gonna be for the podium, the final podium spot in Prototype. Ricardo down the back straightaway. Let's see now. John gonna be looking in his mirrors now as we go up the hill to the left and get set for this right-hander. Ricardo gonna want a beautiful run out of the last turn. Carries good speed. They both do. Ricardo right tucked in the draft. As we go up the hill. It makes a big difference to have a draft up that hill. Let's see, are we gonna have any kind of a move? Ricardo is looking. Don't think he's going to be quite close enough. Seems to be a little bit slower in the straights, but had a much better turn. So Ricardo maybe with a little bit higher downforce. Takes a look to the inside. Nothing quite yet. Battle's going on 35 seconds behind second, so this truly is for the third spot and secured isolated spot as it's 20 seconds ahead of 5th. So 3rd and 4th here just going at it, independent of any other battle on track. As we enter the final 20-odd minutes of this race. Cars go through the carousel, and Ricardo definitely gaining time on John right on the back of him. So we'll see now again down the straight what kind of speed differential they have. It does seem like John is faster in the straights, and that might save him. This is Road America. There is a lot of straight line running. But Ricardo definitely with the faster pure lap time. Oh, as Ricardo gets two wheels stuck on the outside of the curb, cannot recover. So Ricardo will lose some time there. This battle will cease for a moment as Ricardo actually spins up the tires. and loses the bumper. Oh my word. Looking at a podium, he's going to now need to pit. Oh, Ricciardo. Oh no. Ricciardo going from the podium battle to missing his engine cover. Gonna need to hit the pits. We'll see. He might be able to still come out, you know, within the top 7. So, we'll see what happens. Definitely a close battle. For 5th, it's definitely our closest battle on track as well. 2 tenths between them, and very visibly so as well. Cardenas now having a look towards the inside. De Felipe has taken the middle of the road through that little kink. Cardenas, oh, Roberto De Felipe spins up the tires and down into a ditch, actually. He needs to pop it in reverse. Oh, Alex Cudi goes by. He's got plenty of time, does Roberto De Felipe. Gareth Evans still a few seconds behind. There's Gareth Evans in the back there, so not terrible. He only loses the 1 spot, and I don't think he took any damage, so we'll be able to continue, regain his composure, and carry on, because Gareth Evans is coming as well. There is Gareth Evans, center of shot. The battle for 3rd is actually kind of heated up a little bit now, as John Uyan has to defend from Jean-Pierre Halpop. Where has this come from? I've been sleeping, apparently. Jean-Pierre and Jean-Pierre actually has to lift, as George Emery will continue to take his spot. We've got 5 minutes to go, and I'm not entirely convinced this battle is over. Jean-Pierre Halpop has been flying 2 seconds faster than John, over 2 seconds faster than John on the last lap. Jean-Pierre is flying around Road America right now and chasing down that podium spot. Both cars to the inside of lap traffic. Now up the hill to the left. Cars keeping it calm. Last time around, John with a 1:53.8. Jean-Pierre with a 1:51.2. Massive time difference, 2.4 seconds. Through the carousel, let's go on board with Jean-Pierre. The open cockpit prototype, you can definitely see he's got some speed, he's got straight line speed. He was faster through the carousel. Takes a look to the inside, John able to defend nicely just by outbraking. Jean-Pierre not able to throw it down the inside with the tighter line. However, no GT traffic now. They go through the last turn. Trying to have a look at the map to see. I don't believe they're going to have any GT traffic for a while as John goes defensive. Jean-Pierre around the outside. He's trying to, at least. It's going to be up to John for the defense now. John is going to stick it as best as possible. Actually gets a little bit of a tank slapper and will definitely lose the spot as Jean-Pierre Halpop takes 3rd with 3 minutes to go. Less than 3 minutes to go. Unbelievable job, Jean-Pierre Halpop. Running several... Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at best laps before, and not last laps, but a little over a second a lap for the last couple of laps. Faster than John, able to catch him and pass him just as the race is closing now. John will be behind. Jean-Pierre continues through into 3rd. Very, very well done. Last second pass by Jean-Pierre knocks John off the podium. George Manasakis will bring home the 90 minutes of Road America as the overall race winner and LMP2 class winner. 2 races, 2 wins. George Manasakis beginning to take a good hold over this championship and will win Nicely done. Another dominant drive, over a minute over Jordy. Jordy's Wires is going to take second position in LMP2. Did not race at Suzuka, but will take second overall here at Road America. And Jean-Pierre Halpop with a brilliant last-minute overtake on John Uyen, who is still behind. This battle is not technically over yet. John about 1.6 seconds behind, but Jean-Pierre currently in third. Richard Blocker, a second win. A little more straightforward this time, but a second win nonetheless in the GT Endurance category. Don Baumbach again on the podium in GT. And Colin Moore, after a great race with some good fighting, is going to find himself in third in GT. Let's see if we can grab the top 3 from each class for some interviews.
Yeah, it feels very good. Always feels good when you win. Everything went like practice. Qualifying was good. Race pace was there. Everything was fine on the race. I mean, with the GT cars and stuff. No complaints this time for blue flags that moving out of the way and changing lines. So nothing really much to say other than that.
That was just crazy. Qualifying was quite good, P2. Yeah, start was fine, but then I got a penalty for nothing. I don't know why. It says I overtook a GT car in the lap to green, and yeah, there wasn't a GT car. So yeah, I go to pit. Then was a crazy race because GT cars everywhere, LMP cars which are some slower, and yeah, then last few laps there was, I don't know, Uyan, I don't know which there was the third one, and yeah, I managed to overtake him because he left on the medium tires for the whole race, I think, and yeah, I think they were completely gone. So I could do a nice move into the turn 1 and have P3 now, and well, I'm just lucky with that because that was just a really worst start. Feels like a win.
I feel good, indeed. We did qualify this time. We had trained for it, and it was looking very good. And this qualifying, I got not my fastest lap, but it was good enough for first place with a gap of 1.2 seconds, I guess. So that was easy. The race was different because we had Don on a different strategy. So he was flying away in the beginning. So I was thinking now we can catch him up later, and we did. After my short pit stop for just some 20 liters of fuel, maybe 25 liters. He was, I think, 15 seconds behind me, and he was pushing very hard. And with 3-4 laps before the end, it was about 8 seconds, and I had some fuel left. So I decided to pick up the pace with a higher boost setting to keep him behind me. And it was enough, and we finished with a gap of 8 seconds, I believe. So it was more pushing and more. It was a good race for on this track. So.
Yeah, sure, Troy. Hey, different race strategy this time compared to Suzuka. It seemed that there weren't many highlights from my first race, even though I got a podium, other than parking in the garage. And so I decided to mix it up and try something a bit more exciting. And certainly it's better to be the hunter than the hunted. I couldn't catch Richard, though. He had a good pace. I knew at the first stop that it was going to be tough. Traffic was a bit harder than anticipated as well. But in all of the preparations, it was a toss-up between the two, and I decided to go something with a bit more excitement, and it felt really good. I enjoyed today's race, and it wasn't the top step, but enjoyed it more nonetheless.
Yeah, I was really happy with the result this week. Felt like last week I left a lot on the table, but yeah, just trying to keep in touch with Richard early in the race. Made a pretty big mistake and lost a bunch of time and lost touch. And then there was the battle with Renus. Yeah, after the pit stops, I was a good bit behind trying to catch up, and yeah, he made a mistake and lost time like I did. So yeah, the end of the race wasn't too exciting, but there were some pretty good bits there in the middle portion.